So, unfortunately, I am being evicted. Because of verbal combative behavior. It says, in accordance with the terms and conditions of your written rental agreement, you are hereby notified that your lease with Hampshire House ABC Management Company is being terminated and will not be renewed as of May 1st, 2025 at midnight. I received this letter at 7 o'clock p.m. I paid my rent at 3 o'clock p.m. Basically, in my recent video, it showed that I was having a conversation with the office assistant, the lady at front desk, and she was getting frustrated with me because she didn't know how to answer my question. She didn't have an answer for me, and she started getting frustrated. She started standing up, talking about she was going to call the police if I wouldn't leave because she was frustrated with my tone, and she couldn't answer my question. I guess this is called being combative towards the situation. I don't know how you can lose your lease by having a disagreement with the office lady. Not only was she frustrated, but I'm frustrated because I have to pay my rent. And you can't give me the information that I need to do so. And you're talking about the lady, she's sick right now. I can't get in touch with her. The other manager is out, and I can't get in touch with him. But the only frustrated person would be me because I have to pay my rent. Why are you getting frustrated at your job? At the end of the day, you're getting paid. I have to pay my rent. So, as you can see in that video, I was just sitting there. I'm talking to her. As calm as a person that's frustrated can be, she's the one that was being combative towards me. And I'm going to just tell it like it is. The fact that she stood up and felt like she had to call the police because she couldn't answer my question. She was frustrated. She told me to get out because she could not answer my question. As a mother, I have to pay my rent. And I'm trying to tell you my situation, but you won't listen to what I have to say. You're too pressed on getting me out the doors because you're the one frustrated when I'm the one frustrated. So, I have to leave within 30 days. On 3/31, you had a verbal confrontation with the assistant property manager and in the rental office regarding a lost pay card and the rent and late fees for April. After being asked to leave the office, you continued to be combative with her and refused to leave the office. Yes, I refuse to leave the office because I'm not about to put my life on hold because you're frustrated because you don't want to answer my question. If it was that big of a deal, the police officer is sitting right outside the office. Why don't you go get him? You know? I'm not about to leave the office and get kicked out and get the police called on me because you can't answer my question. Because you're frustrated. When the one who's really frustrated is me. So I'm being kicked out of my apartment because the assistant manager, lady at the front desk, was frustrated and couldn't answer my question. She couldn't help me or assist me with my rent request. She felt like the tone of my voice was a threat. I'm sitting down in my chair, and she feels as though the tone of my voice is a threat to the point where, oh, I need to stand up and get you out of the office because I feel offended by your voice. I have a child. I'm a single mother. I am struggling in so many areas of my life right now. Recently weaned off of medicine, trying to figure this out the best way that I can. And they know I previously used to be on disability and this and that for my mental health. This they know, but they still want to kind of interrogate and frustrate the situation and play victim. You work here. And when I come and ask you a question and you can't give me a straightforward answer, and you're always talking about, oh, I have to come back, as if I don't have a life. They don't answer their phones. You can't get into the office until 1:30. I have to pay my rent, and all I'm asking for is that you tell me exactly what I need to do. But you can't do that because the manager is not in, because she's sick. You can't do that because you don't know when the other manager will return. But my rent is on the line. I'm about to lose my housing because I need to get some type of stability towards the situation, to where I'm not thinking too much about anything, to where, you know, I'm not worried or concerned that this will happen if I don't do this. And that's all she wanted to do, was make me concerned about the situation, because when she talked about the promise to pay, she said, oh, you can do a promise to pay, but I won't guarantee that the fees will be waived. I asked her, what is the promise to, I asked her, how is that so? If you promise to pay, then the fees should be waived because I'm promising to pay. The only way the fees wouldn't be waived is if I don't make that payment. I didn't pay the promise to pay, those fees will be charged because I didn't pay on that date of promise to pay. But you can't stand here and tell me that I will have to pay the fees on top of the promise to on top of the rent that I promised to pay if I promised to pay it that day. Why would you also include the fees? Why would you also include the fees? And she said, well, I can't guarantee that the fees will be waived. I can't guarantee that. I'm like, well, I'm trying to tell her, because it brought up a memory. I'm like, okay, so that's exactly what he did. He did give me a promise to pay, and he had me pay on the date that I said I would receive my card. So therefore, he waived the fees until I came in on that day and paid. Because if I didn't pay, he would put the fees back on there. But since I showed up and I paid, he took away the fees. He waived the fees. And that's what I told her. I'm trying to tell her if she'd just be quiet and stop telling me to get out the office because because she's frustrated. I wasn't even frustrated at this point when she stood up, like, get out, you know. So I was trying to explain that to her, but she wouldn't shut up. So I'm telling her, can you listen? Because you're talking too much. I can't even tell you what I'm talking about because you're so pressed on getting me out. I cannot talk because this girl is so pressed on over-talking me. Like, she wants to talk over me so bad to have me shut up and get out. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for you to just tell me one thing and to get out. I'm here to explain my situation and get some understanding to where I'm not just walking out while I'm still thinking about, oh, this, that, and the third, because that's not what I'm trying to do. You know, the fact that they're running to you and crying to you about little tiny, tiny things, trying to get your tenants kicked out over how they feel emotionally, that can get you fired because you're not supposed to kick a tenant out for verbal conduct. That wasn't even true. Like, if I was to take this to court, like, that's what I feel like I need to take this to court. That's what I feel like I need to do because I'm just, like, verbally combative towards, like, man, I feel like I need to take it to court. That's what I feel like I need to do because this don't make sense. I'm always on time with my rent. I'm always on time with my electric bills. I have never, caused any drama. Nobody got, no damages in my apartment. I'm not doing anything. But when it comes to your office workers, I'm the problem because they can't answer my questions. They can't answer my questions. And then you write me up because I'm attacking them because they can't answer me. I'm attacking them when this girl was all up in my business trying to stir me up. She was trying to work me up when she said, oh, where your job? I don't see you got a job. Oh, why are you walking up and down the streets? I'm like, girl, all I'm sitting here doing is waiting for the manager. Why is you in my business? Go do your job. So, when is you going to put them in their place? Why I got to lose my apartment because you're too afraid to step to them and tell them that they're wrong? Instead of hearing my side of the story at all, you want to evict me because she went up to you and told you that she felt some type of way about my tone. She felt some type of way about my tone. I'm evicted because she felt a certain way about my tone. She did not address me. You're supposed to get two sides to the story. But, you felt like she was being combative verbally. She felt some type of way. You felt, the way she was talking to you. Did you feel attacked instead of being attacked? And because of this, I'm being evicted. I'm being evicted. For the tone of my voice. For the tone of my voice. So, anyways, at this point I don't care because obviously it's just like a whole, they got a situation. You know, it can go, it's, I don't know. But I am trying to figure this out. I called my mom, and she's going to help me put my stuff into storage, and I'm going to find a shelter because that's my only option. I don't want to do this. My birthday is like, my son's birthday is like right around the corner, and here I am going through this unnecessary termination letter of my apartment. I was thinking about calling corporate before I started calling around for the shelters tomorrow. I was thinking about calling corporate and asking them, you know, what exactly, you know, can I do about this paragraph? Let me see. 23. Three, 10. Rule, hold on, paragraph 23, page 9. Okay, so let me just answer my own question right now. But if I don't see it on here, I'm gonna call them. And I'm gonna tell them my situation and what just happened. Material. This is all material. Non-compliance material. Affecting the safety of any person or right tenant, quiet enjoyment, or the right of any tenant to get quiet enjoyment. Okay. Failure of tenant on time to supply, income, non-payment. Failure to sign. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Okay, so we're going to go through the rules. Because, okay, so they said 23, termination of tenancy. To terminate this agreement, the tenant must give the landlord 30 days of written notice of moving from unit. B, any termination of this agreement by the landlord must be carried out in accordance with HUD regulations, state and local law, and the terms of this agreement. The landlord may terminate this agreement only by the following reasons. 1, the tenant's material noncompliance with terms of this agreement. 2, the tenant's material failure to carry out obligations under the State Landlord and Tenants Act. Drug-related criminal activity engaged in or near the premises by any tenant, household member, or guest, or any such activity engaged in the premises by any other persons under the tenant's contract. 4, determination made by the landlord that a household member is legally using drugs. 5, determination made by the landlord that a pattern of illegal use of drugs interferes with the health, safety, and right to the peaceful enjoyment of the premises by other residents. Criminal activity by the tenant. Any member of tenant's household, a guest, or another person under the tenant's control, that threatens the health and safety right of peaceful enjoyment in premises of other residents, that threatens the health and safety right, peaceful enjoyment of the residents by persons residing in immediate vicinity of premises. Again, criminal activity. If the tenant is fleeing to avoid prosecution or custody or confinement, other convictions for the crime or attempt to commit a crime, that the felony under the laws of place from which the individual flees, or that in this case of state New Jersey is high misdemeanor. If tenant is violating a condition of probation or parole under federal law. Determination by the landlord that household members abuse or pattern of abuse of alcohol threatens the health, safety, or right of peaceful enjoyment of the premises of other residents. If the landlord determines that the tenant, any member of tenant's household, a guest, or another person under the tenant's control is engaged in criminal activity, regulations, or whether the tenant, any member of the tenant's household, guest, or person under the tenant's control has been arrested or convicted of such. D. The landlord may terminate this agreement for good cause, which includes, but is not limited to the tenant's refusal to accept change to this agreement. Terminations of other good cause may only be effective as of the end of initial or successive term. The term material compliance with lease includes one or more substantial violations of lease. 2 repeated minor violations of lease disrupt the livability of the project, adversely affect the health and safety of any person or the right of tenant to the quiet enjoyment of leased premises and related project facilities, interfere with management of product, or have an adverse financial effect on the project. Failure of the tenant to timely supply all required information, non-payment. So it must be number 2. Repeated minor violations of lease debt. So it's C, interfere with management of the project. No, I don't think that's it. D, have an adverse financial effect on the project. What y'all think? Would that be it? 2 minor violations, because A says disrupt livability of the project. What is the project? Adversely affect the health and safety of any person, of the right of the tenant, of any tenant to the quiet enjoyment. Okay, not that one. Of the leased premises and related project facilities. Interfere with management of projects. Oh, management of, yeah. Or have an adverse, so yeah, it's not interfere with management of projects, no. Basically interference, causing interference of, interruptions and stuff like that. Have an adverse financial effect on the project. Yeah. So no, I don't see anything. The landlord agrees to rely upon those grounds of termination as required by this paragraph. So yeah, I don't see anything on here about what she's talking about. So we went to 23, and that was rules about the, then she says, please refer to our lease paragraph 13, general restrictions. I think she's trying to find something in here that can kind of just back her up, because I think I'm going to just pause corporate, because it's not on here what she's talking about. Okay, so let's see, 13. I don't even see 13 on here. Usually they will list it on here, like the violations that you made. They will list it like right here. Here goes 13, general restrictions. The tenant must live in the unit, and the unit must be the tenant's only place of residence. The tenant shall use the premises only as a private dwelling for himself, herself, and individual listed owner certification of compliance with HUD's tenant eligibility and the rent procedures. Attachment 1, the tenant agrees to permit other individuals to reside in the unit after obtaining the prior approval of the landlord. The tenant agrees not to A, sublet or assign the unit or any part of the unit, use the unit for awful purposes, engage or permit unlawful activities, make permit noises or acts that will disturb rights of neighbors, have pets or animals. Yeah, she has nothing to back up what she's saying. And what I mean by that is basically there's nothing in here that says it don't say anything about being combative with with management about a circumstance or conversation. It says nothing in here about that. She says verbal combative in this one. Yeah, in both of them. She says I'm verbally combative, but there's nothing in here that talks about being verbally combative can cause lease termination. There's nothing in here that says that. If you remain, hold on, let me see. I need to find the number of corporate. She gave me the number, but I didn't even get that. I don't even know where I put that paper. But yeah, I think I'm gonna fight this because there's nothing in here that says I should be terminated for what she's talking about. Nothing in here. I'm surprised she didn't put corporate number on here. Like, if you disagree with this, you can, this is the number that you would contact. Okay, so here, let me see. Basically, they just want you to leave because they're saying, "Oh, I want you to leave." That's why they want you. That's why they want me to leave, because they want me to leave. Like, get out of my house type thing. What? Like, get out of my house. That's what it is. That's basically what they're trying to do. So yeah. I refer to all of these that she's talking about, and nothing on here I have violated anything. The type of behavior that will not be tolerated here. Who is you talking to? Who is you talking to? You're mainly seeing it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look up on the internet the corporate's number, and I'm gonna call them because yeah, she didn't even provide it on here. She was supposed to, because I am not in agreement with this. Is it what, non-compliant? So yeah. The fact that you don't even have the number on here to talk to corporate, and corporate is head over you. So definitely going to look up that number, and I'm going to call them. But you got the police department's number on here though. And we got corporate's number on here though. So yeah. That's what I'm about to do next. I'm gonna call corporate, and I am going to, talk to them about this, and but overall, because like if I didn't have my son with me, I would be. If I had the means, girl, you wouldn't even have to worry about me. But the fact that you trying to mess up my life over a conversation, it gotta no. So yeah. But like I said, nothing on here says that I violated. I did any violation. These little minor things that she's talking about. I had verbally they felt some kind of way. That don't even count because it's not on here. So yeah, that's what I'm about to call. I'm about to call them in the morning, and I'm gonna talk to corporate, and I'm gonna figure that out because, that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, hopefully ain't no all in this together type thing. They are basically playing sides and this and that, because I'm just throwing out the worst, the worst out there. Hope for the best hope for the best and wish for the best and hope for the worst. The worst could be they all on the same side. They don't care. If she says it's on there, it's on here. What she says goes type thing. Even if it's not on here. That type thing. But I'm going by papers, and by these papers, lady, ain't nothing you talking about a violation to my lease. I have not violated my lease. And if you want to be technical, any of these little small conducts that you put down don't even count. So honestly, I have no violation. I have no minor conducts on here, because what you call as minor conduct is not even in, it doesn't even, it's not written in his papers at all. So you're making up stuff. So yeah, I will talk to y'all another time. I'll keep y'all updated on what's going on. And yeah, that's an update. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share, channel for you. Take care. Bye. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. be notified, and share at your own free will to show you care. I'm about to go back up there tomorrow. Y'all about to give me my money while y'all talk about at the end of the day, after the fact that I just paid y'all. I'm about to go back up there. Y'all about to give me my money, return me my money, because I didn't have to give y'all nothing today. But y'all want to take my money first and then gonna post a letter on my door saying at the end of the day. Is y'all stupid? So yeah, I'm about to go up there and get my money. I'm about to try to find me a shelter. I want to get storage and I want to get the fuck up out of here because they too personal for me. And when it's personal and it affects my housing, you supposed to be professional, not personal. And it affects my housing instead of taking it out on instead of taking it out on the person at the desk, you want to say I got to leave. I got to move my life because of how this bitch feel. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. So yeah, that's my next step. I'm about to make a couple calls tomorrow. I am about to go get my money back. And if y'all can't refuse to give me my money back, because if y'all want to take me to court, we can go to court for this. You not about to take my money and then evict me the next day. What the fuck? What type of shit is that? Don't fucking play with me. Don't fucking play with me. So yeah, I'm cool. I'm about to get out their hair because they about to get the fuck out of my life with this bullshit. Because you don't get evicted over this shit. I could take this to court though. I can take this to court because how you gonna evict me because somebody felt a certain way about a conversation? Like, please make that shit make sense. How do you evict somebody because they felt a certain way about a motherfucking conversation? Ain't no hands was thrown or nothing. She even had the officer behind her today when I went in there to talk to the manager. Like, because you feel unsafe and you feel a certain way because you didn't understand a question that I asked and you couldn't answer me. And then you stood there and was like, okay, let's start over. That's what you said. Let's start over. And that's when we rewinded the conversation and we handled it. But you want to keep going on and you want to go cry to the manager as if it was an issue because you didn't get your way. And you felt like, oh, I'm about to be a crybaby until I get my motherfucking way. So now I just lost my shelter because your bitch ass crying over something that you couldn't even figure out. And then that's what I'm saying. I addressed the same situation to the manager. I asked her about it and I told her about it. So why the fuck would you take my money when at the end of the day, you want motherfucking evict me over a motherfucking conversation about your workers and how they work and how they can't handle pressure. They can't handle a question being asked that they can't fucking answer. But you gonna evict me over this bullshit. And I'm consistent with my motherfucking rent and electric and everything. And you evict me over a motherfucking conversation with your weak ass workers? Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my life. Period, point blank. I'm done. I'm out and I'm about to figure this shit out because I'm about to leave. I'm about to go get my money and I'm done. Don't ever come to this fucking property management because they are more emotional. They care about their workers rather than the tenants. You will lose your house over a motherfucking conversation with a worker that don't know what they're talking about because at the end of the day, they're going to go back to their worker. At the end of the day, their worker going to go crying to them about the tenant and the tenant getting evicted because the worker is upset. Because personally, I feel this motherfucking way. But like I said, I could go to court with this shit. I really could because you can't evict a tenant. You can't evict a tenant over a conversation. Period, point blank. But I'm not about to fight a battle that don't need to be fought. I'm not about to waste my motherfucking energy over this shit. Because I had enough. I'm fed up. If y'all look at my previous videos, the same shit was going on with another worker here that basically got over on me because I wanted to talk to the manager because I already know how this shit goes. But I approached this differently. My approach towards this situation was different. I didn't get up. I wasn't being combative. And if my voice is combative, then you need to that's a personal problem. Because this is how I talk. So because of how I talk, I'm about to lose my apartment. Fuck you. Like, I need my money. Period, point blank. Because I'm done. I'm going back up there tomorrow, get my money. I'm about to figure out shelter, and I'm about to put this shit in the motherfucking storage, and I'm done.